sir, another Google Doc has hit the second Twitter account. Well, boys, I'm